Hello students, before we get into the next new chapter, I wish to give few more additional problems on the chapter polynomial. Here are the questions. I'm going to just give the clues or hints, and I'm going to leave these problems to you. You are going to solve it, right? Then only you will be practiced towards it. So first question, if alpha and beta are the zeros of the polynomial, find the value of alpha square plus beta square and alpha minus beta the whole square. These kinds of problems you should be familiar with that. Alpha square plus beta square, even we have done problems of this kind. So the procedure is find first alpha beta for the given polynomial and try to substitute the values in this and read the question properly, whether they asked you to find the value of this or whether they asked you to use this as roots and whether they are asking you to frame a new polynomial. Read the question properly and then give your answer. So here they asked you to just find the value, so just find the value, and remember alpha square plus beta square is not equal to alpha plus beta the whole square. I told you while solving problem in yesterday's class also. So what is alpha square plus beta square? A square plus b square. A square plus b square is a plus b the whole square minus 2ab. Right? Remember, this is not equal to alpha plus beta the whole square. Simply don't substitute that value. And a minus b, alpha minus beta the whole square. How you can express this in terms of alpha plus beta and alpha beta? You can write it as alpha plus beta the whole square minus 4 alpha beta, because if you expand alpha plus beta the whole square, what you will get? Alpha square plus beta square plus 2 alpha beta. Then if you subtract minus 4 alpha beta, you will get minus 2 alpha beta, which is nothing but alpha minus beta the whole square, right? So alpha minus beta the whole square can be written as alpha plus beta the whole square minus 4 alpha beta, right? Now see the second question. On dividing a polynomial by g of x, the quotient is this and the remainder is this. Find g of x. So dividend is given, divisor they didn't give, quotient and the remainder are given. So go with the division algorithm, substitute all the polynomials. What is the division algorithm? P of x is equals to g of x into q of x plus r of x. Substitute all the polynomials and whatever you don't know, you keep it on one side and bring the remaining polynomials to the other side, so that you will get an idea which polynomial you should divide it by another. Divide it and find g of x. Third one, if the squared difference of the zeros of the quadratic polynomial is 144, find p. What is meant by squared difference? Squared difference of the zeros, which means alpha minus beta the whole square. Squared difference means alpha minus beta the whole square. So alpha minus beta the whole square is equals to 144. So using this, you have to find what is your p, and they have given you the polynomial, right? Try solving. Next question, if alpha beta are zeros of the polynomial, then find the value of 1 by alpha square plus 1 by beta square and alpha cube plus beta cube. Hope you can solve this. They just asked you to find the value. So find what is alpha beta from the given polynomial and substitute in the two questions. So how will you substitute? After taking LCM. So this will become alpha square beta square. Yes, I am leaving it to you. Solve it. And this is alpha cube plus beta cube. A cube plus b cube identity. Recall, we learnt in class 9. So recall your identities. I am not going to tell the identity for you. You have to find out what is the identity for a cube plus b cube. And for a cube plus b cube, we have two identities. And think which identity will suit this problem to solve. Because we know the values of alpha plus beta and alpha beta. Accordingly, you have to choose your identity. Next question, if n minus k is a factor of the polynomials x square plus px plus q and x square plus mx plus n, prove that k is equal to this. Here, n minus k is a factor of two polynomials. They asked you to prove an expression. This is a quite interesting question. When they say it's a factor, what we know, if you substitute the value in the polynomial, we will get the answer as 0. Similarly, they have given this is a factor of this also. So substitute this value here also, you will get the answer as 0. So both are equated to 0. So equate both the expressions after substituting n minus k. Then try to find out what is your k, you will get this answer. Even problems of this kind we have solved in class 9 using remainder theorem. Hope you remember. They will give both the polynomials leaving same reminders, then find some unknown value. The same way, after substituting this value, the remainder will be 0 here, and even here it will be 0. So both the expressions you can equate and bring all the terms to the other side, keeping k alone on one side, you will get this expression. Okay. See the next question, what must be subtracted from so that the resulting polynomial is exactly divisible by? So what should be subtracted? The remainder should be subtracted. Then only the question will become exactly divisible. So go with long division method, find what is your remainder, and that is the polynomial should be subtracted from the dividend so that the resulting polynomial will become exactly divisible, right? So solve these additional problems and post the pics in the group. Now we will move on to the next new chapter, pair of linear equations. Yes, we are going to learn about pair of linear equations in two variables. So what is meant by pair? Pair means two, right? Linear, what is meant by linear? Linear means degree 1. Linear means degree 1. Equations, you should know the difference between equations and polynomials or expressions. Equation means you will have that equal to sign in that expression. If you don't have that equal to sign in the expression, we won't call it as equation, we will call it as just polynomial. So the thing which we used in previous chapters are all polynomials, they are not equations, right? Unless and until they say equation, you should not put equal to 0. Okay, so in this chapter fully we are going to deal with linear equations in two variables. So in this chapter fully we are going to deal with first degree equation involving two variables. Two variables means two different variables, say x and y, that too not a single equation, two equations, right? Now say one example for a pair of linear equations in two variables. Now see, this is an example of a pair of linear equation in two variables, because see the degree of the variables are 1, as well as we have two equations involving two variables, and these two are equations. So when we say a pair of linear equation, they should have the same variable but two variables. We are going to deal with two variables. Hope you understood, right? Now let us see what are we going to learn in this chapter first. First is the two linear equations in the same two variables are called pair of linear equations in two variables. What is the general form of a pair of linear equations? a1x plus b1y plus c1 equals to 0. a2x plus b2y plus c2 is equals to 0. What is a1? a1 is a coefficient of x, b1 is a coefficient of y, c1 is a constant. And a1, a2 are real numbers such that a1 square plus b1 square should not be equal to 0, and a2 square plus b2 square should not be equal to 0. So this is a pair of linear equation, the general form. As we express the quadratic polynomial, how we will express ax square plus bx plus c, right? The same way the general form of expressing a pair of linear equation is this, right? Next, so what are we going to learn in this chapter? A pair of linear equations in two variables can be represented and solved by the graphical method and algebraic method. So we are going to learn two different methods of representing and solving this pair of linear equations, representing as well as solving. Two methods, graphical method and algebraic method. In the graphical method, we know graphical method means we need to draw graphs, right? The graph of a pair of linear equation is represented by two lines. How do you know it can be represented by two lines? We have learned in previous classes. Linear equations is not new to us. We are learning linear equations right from class 7, right? So pair of what will be the graphical representation of a linear equation? It will be a straight line. We have learnt even in class 9. So representation of linear equation in graph will be a straight line. Even this class we have learnt. So when we have a pair of a straight line, pair of linear equations, we will get a pair of lines. So first linear equation you can represent it with one straight line, the other linear equation you can represent it with another straight line. So using the graphical representation we can give the solution of the pair of linear equations. It's beautiful, right? As we say, how many zeros polynomial will have on looking at the graphical representation. On looking at the graphical representation, how we will say how many zeros does it have? At how many points does the graph intersect the x-axis? We know for a linear polynomial it will intersect at only one point, therefore it can have at most 1 0. For a quadratic polynomial the graph can intersect at most at 2 points, at most, maximum, but it is not necessary always it should intersect at 2 points. It may or may not. If it intersect at 1 point it can have 1 0. If it intersect at 2 points it can have 2 zeros. If it does not intersect then it cannot have 0. If it intersect at only 1 point it means that it has 2 repeated zeros, right? So likewise we have learned the same way on looking at the graphical representation of two linear equations. We can say the solution. How we can say, if the lines intersect at a point, see, if the lines intersect at one point, then the point gives a unique solution, and in this case the pair of equation is called consistent. So after drawing both the lines, if it intersects at a point then it has a unique solution and it is consistent. If the lines coincide then there are infinitely many solutions. In this case the pair of equations is dependent and it is consistent only. If the lines are parallel then the pair of equations has no solution. In this case the pair of equations is inconsistent. You have to remember this. If it intersect at one point it has unique solution and it is consistent. If the lines, both the lines coincide means if you get the graph one over the other, then it has infinitely many solution and this pair of equation is dependent, but it is consistent only. If the lines are parallel it has no solution and in this case it is inconsistent. We will be learning in detail about this while solving problems. So next, algebraic method. Again we are going to learn three methods. In this cross multiplication method they removed from your syllabus for this year. So we are going to learn only about substitution and elimination method. So we are going to learn substitution and elimination method in the algebraic methods. So again there are few conditions as we saw for graphical method. So if a1 by a2 is not equal to b1 by b2 then the pair of linear equations is consistent. If a1 by a2 is equals to b1 by b2 which is not equal to c1 by c2 then the pair of linear equations is inconsistent. If all the three are equal then the pair of linear equation is dependent and consistent. These three cases also you have to remember. So we will be doing problems based on this. Then what we are going to learn? We are going to learn some practical problems, how we can represent the situation by two equations which are not linear to start with, but later we will reduce it to a pair of linear equations in order to solve and get the answer. So these are the things we are going to learn in this chapter. First we are going to learn two different methods, graphical and algebraic method. Then in algebraic method two methods and then some practical problems, right? So listen, important note which you should know and remember. Each solution x comma y of a linear equation in two variables ax plus by plus c corresponds to a point on the line representing the equation and vice versa. This also we learnt in class 9. What does this say? A linear equation can be expressed geometrically or graphically by a straight line, and we know every solution of that equation will lie on the straight line, or every point on the straight line is the solution of the equation. Hope you understood. What I mean is, if you algebraically solve a equation, for example take one linear equation in one variable, for example say 2x plus 4 is equals to 6. So what will happen? 2x is equals to 6 minus 4 which is 2. So x is equals to 1, right? So this x is equals to 1 will lie on the graphical representation of this, but here we are dealing with linear equation in 2 variables. Hope you remember. Yes, take a linear equation in 2 variables like this. We have drawn graph for this, right? 2x plus 3y is equals to 4. If we draw a graph for this, what you will get? You will get a straight line. You will get a straight line, and every point on a straight line is the solution of this equation, because we know a linear equation in 2 variable will have infinitely many solution. How do you know it has infinitely many solution? Because every point on the line is the solution of that equation, and similarly every solution of the equation will lie on the straight line. Yes, because if you assume any value for a, corresponding value for y you can find out. If you assume any value for y, the corresponding value of x you can find out. I am talking about linear equation in 2 variables, only one equation, not a pair of equations, right? So the same way here, that's what it is given here. Each solution of a linear equation in 2 variables corresponds to a point on the line representing the equation, and vice versa. If you represent the linear equation in 2 variables by a straight line like this or this, whatever it is not necessary it should be a slanting line. It can be a straight line, it can be in any direction. Then every point on the straight line will be a solution of the equation to which you have drawn, or every solution of the equation will lie on the straight line. Okay, this you should remember. And a pair of straight lines can be represented in general form like this, we have seen already. And what are all the 3 cases can arise if you draw a graph for pair of linear equations? In 9th class we have drawn a linear graph for a linear equation in 2 variable, for a linear equation in 2 variable. But in this class we are going to learn about a pair of linear equation in 2 variables. So if you draw a pair of linear equation in graph, what are all the chances for the graph to look like? We know it is a straight line, but what are all the possibilities? Either the 2 straight lines can intersect at one point, or the 2 straight lines do not intersect at all, or you can get 2 straight lines one over the other, the one line like this, the other line like this. So if it intersects at one point, it has a unique solution. If it does not intersect, then the pair of equations does not have any solution. Parallel lines. If the one line coincide with the other line, then it has infinitely many solutions. So these are the only 3 cases which can occur if we draw a pair of straight lines on the same graph, right? Now we will solve exercise 3.1. They have given you few situations. We need to frame our linear equation, right? So first question, Aftab tells his daughter, 7 years ago I was 7 times as old as you were then. Also 3 years from now I shall be 3 times as old as you will be. Represent this situation algebraically and graphically. So whenever you have age related problems, what you will do? First you will assume the present ages as your variables, right? So that's what we are going to do it here also. So first let us assume, let the present age, so we have taken present age of Aftab be x and his daughter be y. Now first statement is 7 years ago. Whenever you have ago, what you should do? You should subtract. So first step, subtract 7 from both the ages. Why are we subtracting? Because now x and y are the present ages. Now we are going to talk about the age 7 years ago. So 7 years before. So subtract 7 from both the ages. Then what is given? 7 years ago I was. Who is talking about? Aftab. Aftab is telling I was 7 times as old as you. So I told you whenever you have is, was and all, you have to put equal to sign. So 7 years ago I was 7 times, which means 7 into. 7 times means 7 into as old as you were then. So this is the linear equation. 7 times means 7 into the entire age. Now find the linear equation here. X minus 7, which is equals to, multiply each and every term. So 7y minus 7 sevens are 49. So bring this y to other side and 7 to other side. So you'll get x minus 7y equals to minus 49 plus 7. So x minus 7y is equals to minus 42, or else you can bring this constant term to this side. So you will become x minus 7y plus 42 equal to 0 will be your first linear equation, right? Now second statement what they have given, also 3 years from now. See, 3 years from now. 3 years from now means the present age is x and y. 3 years from now. So add 3 to both the ages. 3 years from now, I shall be 3 times your age will be, I shall be, so equals to 3 times, right? Now expand, x plus 3 is equals to 3y plus 3 3s are 9. Don't forget to multiply each and every term. Don't simply multiply with y and leave it. So x minus 3y plus 3 minus 9 equals to 0. So x minus 3y minus 6 equals to 0. This is our second equation. It is not necessary you have to bring the constant to other side. You can keep it with the other side also. So our question is to express the situation algebraically as well as geometrically. So this is called algebraical expression. We have expressed the given situation as an equation. Now they also asked you to express graphically. How will you express this graphically? So first equation is x minus 7y plus 42 equal to 0, and second is x minus 3y minus 6 is equals to 0. Now how will you express this graphically? You know how to draw a graph of a linear equation, right? So what you will do, you will assume your own values for any one of the variable and you will find the corresponding values of the other variable and you will express it in the graph. Now let us see how we can draw graph for this linear linear equations. So we know, right, already we have learnt in the previous classes. So this is our first equation, x minus 7y plus 42 is equal to 0. Second equation is x minus 3y minus 6 is equals to 0. Now assume your own values for any one of the variable. It is not necessary you have to assume values for x. You can assume values for y also and find the corresponding values of the other variable. Here I have assumed values for x. While assuming values, take few negative values, few positive values and 0 also. Go with 5 values, 2 negative, 2 positive and 1 0. It will be easy for you to analyze the graph. Don't go only with the positive values. Then also while choosing values, it is not necessary you should choose the same numbers. Actually I started with minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2. But what happened, the values are very close. So your graph points plotting will be very close so that you will get a straight line. You feel uncomfortable to plot it. So I have changed the values. So it depends, based on the value you can choose your values for x, right? So x I have taken it as minus 7, minus 1, 0, 3, 7, and y, how you can find it, y, from the given linear equation, solve for y. So I have taken minus 7y and remaining 2 terms to the other side. So it will become 42 plus x. All the negative sign I cancelled. So y is equal to 42 plus x divided by 7. This is the expression which we need to solve to get the value for y. So I have substituted the values for x here. 42 plus x is minus 7 divided by 7. If you solve it, we are getting 5. Similarly, in the place of x, you replace these values and find the points. So next, x comma y. Express the tabulate the values properly. Then only it will be easy for you to plot it in graph, right? Then x comma y I have written. Similarly, solve for the second equation. X minus 3y minus 6 is equals to 0. From this, solve it for y. Minus 3y. 3y is equals to x minus 6. This is x minus 6. I brought 3y to the other side and I kept x minus 6 on one side. So y is equal to x minus 6 divided by 3. Again, choose your own values. Here I have taken all multiples of 3 to make the calculation easier so that you won't get in decimal. So after solving it, we found what is xy. Now we need to plot these 2 points on the graph. So while plotting, First plot for one equation and join the line, make your straight line, and then go for the plotting of the second equation. If you plot all the points, you will get confused which point belongs to which line. If you join different points, you won't get the graph properly. So first plot for one equation, join a straight line, and then move on to the second line, right? Now see, I have plotted for the first equation. I got a straight line like this. After plotting the points, join the points, extend the point and put arrow mark on both the sides and write the equation on the line, right? Now let us see what happens if we plot the points of the second line. So after plotting the second line, we got second linear equation, we got a line like this. So this is the graphical representation of the pair of linear equations, right? So if you see in this question, they didn't ask you to solve, but in general with the introduction, if you see this graph, what can you infer? Whether the pair of linear equation will have a unique solution or infinitely many solution, or they do not have solution. On looking at it, you should not say the two lines does not intersect, therefore the pair of linear equation won't have any solution. You should extend the lines and see. See, these are not exactly parallel. This moves like this and this is slight slanting. So if you extend these two lines at one point or the other, obviously they will meet at one point. So it has a unique solution, right? So on looking at the graph, simply you should not tell, because we are taking random values. So with our chosen values, it is not necessary for the graph to intersect at one point or to intersect at many points. So always after drawing the graph, you should extend both the lines, you should visualize, and then only you should come to a conclusion about the solution of the problem, right? So as of now, we have learned how to express a situation algebraically and graphically as a pair of linear equations. Yes, now let us see the remaining two questions, and you should do this problem in graph paper only. I don't have graph paper, so I have done it here. You have to do it in graph paper and stick it in the notebook. Now let us see how to solve the remaining two problems. See the next question. The coach of a cricket team buys 3 bats and 6 balls for rupees 3,900. Later she buys another bat and 3 more balls of the same kind for rupees 1,300. Represent the situation algebraically and geometrically. So what we can do, they have given rupees. So assume the cost of a bat as x and a ball as y. Then how can we frame the equation? 3x plus 6y is equals to 3,900. And later she buys a bat and 3 balls. So x plus 3y is equal to 1,300. Thus we framed the pair of linear equations algebraically for the given situation. Then as we did for the previous problem, try expressing or representing the pair of equations graphically by taking your own values for x and finding the values for y, or vice versa. You can assume the values for y and you can find the corresponding values for x and plot it in the graph. So I am leaving this problem to you. Similarly, try the third problem of the same exercise. So today's homework will be the additional practice problems which I gave on chapter 2, and this exercise complete the second and third problem. Do the graph in the graph sheet, okay, and then prepare for your test. Practice the entire chapter 2. In the next class, that is on Saturday, you will be writing a test on chapter 2. Thank you, students.